Hey y'all, we're back with another podcast. This time we're going over the week 9 of the NFL and we're going to go through the same stuff we've been doing. We got our week 9 recap, we got power rankings to look at, we got teams on the rise slash teams on the decline to look at, NFL news, last week's score for my predictions, my new predictions, and matchups for next week. Now let's get into it. So first off, we got the Packers versus 49ers. This game was a blowout. We saw the Packers dominate in this game. Aaron Rodgers had 4 touchdowns, 300 yards. Devontae Adams had 170 of those yards. It was just so bad. The 49ers are so hurt. It's going to be really tough for them to make the playoffs with their injuries. And the 49ers couldn't move the ball until the Packers backups were in. I mean, it was a more fair matchup once they had the backups in because it was essentially the Niners backups versus the Packers backups. I mean, there's not much to say other than Aaron Rodgers' excellence in this game. Obviously Niners fans are sad, but who was more sad in that game was the people that bet the under. With about a minute left, the Niners came down the field and scored another touchdown to make it 17-34, and that made the overhit, and I just got to feel bad for those bettors that bet the under. It's a tough one, especially in garbage time to lose it. Packers won that one 34-17. Next up, we had the Broncos versus the Falcons. It was a very pass-heavy game from both of these teams. The Falcons' defense did enough, honestly, in the first half to hold on in the fourth. We haven't seen that a lot from the Falcons where they're holding on in the fourth and actually win. But they did it this week. The Falcons are always going to make it a game in the fourth, it seems. But Matt Ryan had a great day. He really spread the ball around in terms of wide receiver play, which I really liked. You always got to look at that and see if they're hitting one target or if they're actually hitting everybody. Matt Ryan hit everybody in this game. He played really well. The one saving grace for the Broncos, I'd say, is Jerry Jeudy looked really good. I think that was a really good pickup for them this year in the draft. A lot of the rookie wide receivers has been really good this year, so exciting to watch them. I think it's been one of the most exciting wide receiver classes to see in the last couple of years. I actually picked this upset this week. It was very good, 34-27 Falcons. Next, we got the Seahawks and the Bills. This was a huge game for the Bills. They came out hot, never took the foot off the gas. Josh Allen, it was an incredible game with 3 touchdowns, 400 yards. Russell ended up throwing 2 picks. We've seen a lot more picks from Russell in the last couple games, I think, than like previous years. I don't know if this is him regressing or not because I'm really high on Russell Wilson. I think he's a great quarterback. But he's thrown a lot more picks this year than usual, so that's something to watch out for. Russell couldn't come back from the deficit after the Bills went up, and he needs to hit Tyler Lockett more. I know that DK is probably his new favorite target, but he needs to spread the ball out. Like what we talked about with the Falcons-Broncos, it seems that Russell is just trying to force the ball to DK all the time, and I don't think that's how they're going to win. It's a huge win for the Bills to show that they're a good team in the AFC. I did not think that the Bills would win this game. They did. They really surprised me, and all props to the Bills there, winning that one 44-34. Next, we had Ravens-Colts. This Ravens defense played so well, exceptionally well this game. Phillip, the inconsistent Phillip, came out to play. He threw a pick, and he had a bad completion percentage all game. He couldn't really get anything done against the Ravens defense. They didn't even score in the second half. They didn't give themselves a chance to win in the second half. The Ravens really went out in the second half, made the adjustments, and won the game in the second half. It's what you love to see from a good team. They owned that second half. It was a great win for them to bounce back. Huge win, 24-10 Ravens. I picked the Colts last week. I had a little bit more faith in them, but I think they looked okay. But Phillip just got to get it done on offense. Next, we had the Texans at the Jaguars. And this is a game that, yes, I picked the Texans. The Texans did win. But are they really that bad? I mean, they only beat the Jacksonville Jaguars by 2. And the Jaguars had a chance to come back. That's the thing is, Watson cannot do it all, and that's what it seems like is having to happen now for the Texans. Luton didn't look too bad for the Jags, I didn't think. James Robinson looked good, but it just wasn't enough for the Jags. The Texans, I mean, there's no way they make the playoffs, especially if they play like this. They're playing one of the bottom teams in the league, probably the second worst team in the league. They're only winning by 2. It's a tough one. 27-25 Texans. Next, we got Panthers-Chiefs, a very exciting game, more exciting than I thought it would be. McCaffrey's return helped the Panthers tremendously. He had so many all-purpose yards in the passing game and the rushing game. Bridgewater honestly had a good day. Teddy Two Glove threw the ball well, I thought, but he can't keep up. He cannot keep up with Mahomes. That's the thing. Mahomes had 4 touchdowns, 372 yards. Huge day for him against the Panthers defense. All day the tight ends killed the Panthers. I mean, I think Kelsey put up about 150 yards. Incredible. One of the best tight ends in the league. But still, you got to find a way. You got to get the matchups with the linebackers and try to shut him down because you know Mahomes is looking for him all the time. But, I mean, that's the thing with the Chiefs offense is that he's looking short and you're trying to cover short. You're trying to cover a guy like Kelsey. But I think the Panthers took the route of trying to defend the deep ball. Trying to, cut off the Tyreek Hill style play where Mahomes will just lob it deep to his speedy wide receivers. So I understand why they would rather have Kelsey get catches and more targets, but still, you got to lock up the tight end. Joey Sly ended up missing the field goal from 67 yards. I think it's his second time trying from 65 plus. And I think he had the distance. He just pushed it. So Chiefs win that one 33-31. A really good showing for the Panthers, in my opinion. Lions, Vikings, another upset. Stafford looked really rough. He had 2 picks, barely 200 yards. And this was really, again, back-to-back weeks, the Dalvin Cook show. This is what the Vikings are going to do. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows they're not going to rely on Kirk Cousins. They're going to put the ball in Dalvin Cook's hands and tell him to make a play. And he's been doing that. He had 206 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Just incredible day for him. Lions couldn't stop the run all day. And the 3 interceptions in the second half for the Lions will not win them games. You can't go into the second half, try to make a comeback, and throw 3 picks. It's not going to work. Even against a team like the Vikings, you can't do it. Lions lose this one 34-20. Big ups for the Vikings on a 2-game winning streak now. Bears, Titans. Okay, so the Bears, the story of this game is the Bears can't score. I mean, I know that more people are calling for Trubisky, all that, but they couldn't score until the fourth quarter. I mean, that's really, really tough. You can't win games like that. Again, like we talk about, you have to play all 4 quarters of football. Obviously, the fourth quarter is the most important, but you have to give yourself a shot in the fourth quarter. The Bears didn't give themselves a shot in the fourth quarter. The Bears contained Henry all day. They did well on defense, I thought. They held Henry to 3.2 yards per carry, which is all you can do against a premier running back like that. But in Tannehill didn't have to do much to win the game. I mean, they played great field position, and they got the scores when they needed, and they took advantage of their opportunities. I mean, not the best game from the Titans, but the defense looked good against the struggling Bears offense. I mean, if you can hold a team to not scoring in the first 3 quarters, you're almost guaranteed to win that game. Bears drop to 5-4. Titans win 24-17. Next, we had Giants versus the Washington football team. I picked this game wrong. I really thought Washington would have it, but Danny Dimes looked pretty good. 23 for 34. Especially, on the other side, he outplayed the opposing quarterback. Alex Smith threw 3 picks. I mean, come on, that killed the Washington football team. McLaurin, 115 yards and a touchdown. He's looking great all season. He's been super consistent. I like him. I think he's a great wide receiver. And the Giants went up early, and they held on the whole time. Washington had lots of opportunities to come back in the second half. Didn't take them. And really, I don't think these 2 teams are going to be able to play for the playoffs. I think this game has almost made it so much easier for the Eagles to win. I mean, obviously there's people in New York like, we can win out, we can do these things. It's not going to happen. But the New York Giants essentially tried to take Washington out of the playoff race, and I think they're getting close to doing that. Giants won that one 23-20. The Eagles look like they're going to take a huge lead in that division. Next, we got Raiders, Chargers. Another great field position game from Gruden. He really played the Chargers tough in terms of getting the ball at the 40 and putting his team in a lot of key positions to score. Herbert threw for 300 yards. He had a good game, but his defense gave him no help, and that was what the Chargers were supposed to be. They were supposed to be a defensive team. Not really that much of an offensive team, but a good defensive team, and they can score sometimes. We haven't seen the defense play well for the Chargers this year. I mean, they obviously shipped out Desmond King for a low draft pick. I don't know what that move was about, but the Chargers season is done. I mean, the AFC is so stacked. There's no way they can make a move. The Raiders move up in the NFC, which is a big, big thing for them. Win that game, 31-26. Great win for the Raiders. Oh, my favorite game of the week. We had Dolphins-Cardinals. Tua was super efficient. I thought he looked pretty crisp out there. He spread the ball out. And this is a big win for the Dolphins. I mean, this is a team that can now look at the playoffs and be like, we deserve to be there, especially with them announcing maybe that there's going to be a move from 14 to 16 playoff spots. I think that's huge for the Dolphins because they're more of a fringe team as well. And the Dolphins stopped the run really well. They stopped Chase Edmonds. They stopped the rushing attack from the Cardinals. And Kyler just can't do it all. He needs help from that Cardinals defense, and they did not give it to him that day. 34-31. Dolphins win that one. I picked it wrong. I should have went with my gut. Ugh, I love the Dolphins, though. Very, very fun team to watch. Next, we had Steelers-Cowboys. So this one was very, very interesting to me as the Dallas went up early and they had some trick plays. The trick play where the guy was acting like he's hurt on the punt return, beautiful. You know, that's the thing. If you're going to be the Cowboys in that situation, why not try it? You're going against, in my opinion, the best team in the league or the second best team in the league. You might as well have some tricks, you know. It was a much closer game than expected. James Conner didn't get that many carries. But the Steelers come back against a weak Cowboys defense, and that's all she wrote. I mean, I think a couple positives for the Cowboys is that Pollard looked better than Zeke, in my opinion. I mean, Zeke, I'm just not sure what's happening, but he can't get it done right now. Steelers won that one 24-19. Next, we got the Saints versus the Buccaneers. Oh, my God. I saw the NFL analysis of this, too, before the game. Not a single person picked the Saints. Same as me. Last week, I picked the Buccaneers. I'm like, the Buccaneers have this. Battle of the NFC South. The Buccaneers are going to get it done. They don't. They get far from that. They get blown out, okay? Embarrassing game for the Buccaneers here. They only put up 3 points. I mean, come on. The Saints had the level of disrespect to put Jameis Winston in so he could eat a W. That's sad. That's really sad for the Buccaneers. You should never let that happen to you. Brady threw 3 picks, played pretty awfully. And the Saints solidified themselves as a top team in the NFC. I didn't believe it last week. I thought the Buccaneers would win. I didn't think the Saints were all that good. They proved me wrong. I was wrong. The Saints are looking really, really good. If they can put up numbers like that and shut down offenses every week, week in and week out, that is a team that's playing for the Super Bowl. The Saints should win the South now, I think, with that. I think I said that last week, is that whoever wins this game is going to be the leader of the NFC South and should have a much easier path to winning the division. I think that's the Saints now. And the Saints defense, you got to give it to them. I mean, obviously the offense scored 38, but incredible play from the Saints defense. 38-3, Saints win. Next, we had the last game of the week with the Patriots-Jets. And the Jets didn't look half bad. They lose by 3. Flacco played well enough, but Cam was very accurate all day. He didn't have any touchdowns, but was very accurate. And the Jets couldn't get it done in the 4th. And that's not a team that you can't. The Jets are going to have to win a game where they're up and the people will just put it in the backups. They're going to have to find a way to get up because they're going to blow leads. That's just the Jets. And it was honestly one of the best chances for the Jets to get a win on their schedule, but we'll see what happens later on in the season. But that's a really rough one for the Jets because they had a shot there. Next, let's take a look at some NFL power rankings. Okay, so number 32, no surprise, it's going to be the Jets. Before I even look, there it is, the New York Jets. 0-9. 7 more games left to avoid the old goose egg, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. Next, number 31, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars looking like hot trash. The Texans only beat them by 2, but we've seen that the Texans aren't very good. Next, we got the Cowboys and the Washington football team. Look at that. The bottom 4 teams in the league, 3 of them. Oh, wait, no. No. 2 of them are in the NFC least. Washington really deserves to move down here because I think that was a game they definitely could have won. So it's really tough. Allen going to IR, but we'll see. Maybe Dwayne Haskins could come back or something along the line there. They need something different at quarterback. Next, at 28, we had the New York Giants. So the 3 of the 4 NFC least teams are in the top worst 5 teams in the league. Then we have the Lions. They are right there. They're 3-5. I mean, they're pretty bad. Okay, losing to the Vikings was really tough for Lions fans. That's just not a game you can lose. Next, you have the Houston Texans at 2-6. I'm not even sure. I think that you could swap the Lions and the Texans. You look at the Lions; they've beaten a team like the Cardinals and lost a lot of close games. But the Texans, they barely beat the Jags. Like, at least the Lions blew out the Jags. The Texans barely beat them. I don't know if I agree with that. Next, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they had a bye week this week, and they have an interesting game coming up against the Steelers. Everybody knows that Bengals-Steelers rivalry is going to be a good game. I'm very excited to see how the Bengals play. They had a great game against the Titans. We'll see. I'm very excited to watch this team. I think they could be higher up, though. But next they have the Carolina Panthers. And the Panthers played well against the Chiefs. They were in that game the whole time. I think they could be farther up, too. And then you have a team like the Broncos. See, I would pick the Panthers over the Broncos or probably the Bengals over the Broncos. I think they could be a lot lower. They had the last-second win over the Chargers, but either of those teams are not very good. Next, we have the Philadelphia Eagles coming in at 3-4-1, the best team in the NFC least. They look like a team that can make the playoffs and go right out. But you know what? They're going to make the playoffs. Philly's going to love it. That's all that matters. New England Patriots. They are 3-5, and they moved up. How can you move a team up after they beat the Jets by 3? Doesn't make any sense to me. They should be farther down. We got San Francisco, number 20. I think that's fair because if they have their starters, they're probably about like a 10 to 12, 13 ranked team, I feel like. But without them, it's going to be so tough. It's really tough for Niners fans just being hurt all season. Falcons are here at 3-6. I like this. I think the Falcons are definitely on the uptrend. Obviously, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, but they're a team that is essentially now fighting for third place in NFC South, and I think that they could get it. It's possible the Panthers could be that 4th team. Next, we've got the Los Angeles Chargers. I don't understand how are the Chargers still at 18. I get that they played the Chiefs tough. They have 2 wins though. They're 2-6. Their team has not showed that they can beat people. I don't think they deserve 18. The Chicago Bears at 17. This is definitely because of their losing streak they're on right now. They're not playing good football. People have exposed them for the bad offense that they have. I think this is very fair. The Minnesota Vikings at 16. This is definitely a team that could upset some big teams. I mean, they're still in playoff contention. It's possible for the Vikings. If they keep playing like the way they are and running the ball, playing better defense, it's very possible for the Vikings. I like the Vikings right now. See, we got the Cleveland Browns at 15. 5-3. I honestly would take the Vikings over the Browns. I don't think that the Browns are that great of a team. I think they really only beat the bad teams, and I don't know about that. And they have the Colts here at 14. They drop them 5 spots from a loss to the Ravens. I think that's a little unfair. Ravens are one of the better teams in the AFC. I think that they deserve to be a little higher as well. Maybe around 12. I think that'd be a good spot for them, but 14, it's a little tough for me. Then we've got the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams have been consistent, I feel like. The Rams will host the Seahawks, which will be a good game next week. That will show me if the Rams are for real or not. Because if the Rams can beat the Seahawks, I think that they're a lot better team than a lot of people think. Right now, they've got the Miami Dolphins at number 12. I love this. Dolphin fans have got to be going crazy in Miami. Miami is a good team. They have a solid defense, and they've got Tua at the helm. What more can you ask? Exciting football. I love this. I'm glad that an NFL website is giving them more. The authors here are giving them more praise, because this is what I've been saying for the last 4 weeks, is that this Dolphins team is damn good. Next, we got the Arizona Cardinals coming in at number 11. And I think that's fair. I mean, they're saying that the Dolphins, because the Dolphins beat them last week, that's fair. And we've seen the Cardinals have really good wins against the Seahawks, but we've also seen them lose against a team like the Lions. So it's very interesting to me. They're an interesting team. I think they're a little inconsistent, but if they can rein it in, I do like Kingsbury and I like Kyler Murray. So those two teams, Dolphins and Cardinals, very fun to watch in my opinion. Las Vegas Raiders moving up 3. I'm not sure if I would take the Raiders over the Cardinals and the Dolphins. I think that I would swap those. I think the Raiders could be around 12 and the Cardinals and the Dolphins could be 10 and 11. I'm not sure if I like the Raiders that far up. Next, we got the Tennessee Titans. They go up 2 ranks because of their win against the Bears. I'm not sure if moving up against the Bears and going up 2 is like you can actually do that. I mean, 2, I'm not sure. I mean, I think it's fair. Maybe they're a 6-2 team. They got Derrick Henry. I guess 9 is fair. Then we have the Seattle Seahawks dropping to 8 after a loss to the Bills. I mean, I think this is, again, what I've been saying is that the Seahawks defense is not there right now. They cannot stop anybody on offense or on defense. So I think this is very fair. The Seahawks are definitely need to clean it up on defense if they're going to look for a Super Bowl this year. Next, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They dropped to rank 7 after the routing that they took on Sunday Night Football. You could honestly drop them a little farther, but I think that Tom Brady will recover from that. But I'm not sure if Tom Brady's really taken losses like that in a long time, where he is just getting completely waxed. That'll be very interesting to see how he bounces back from a game with 3 picks. The Bills move up. I think that's a great position to have them at 6 because beating the Seahawks was a huge win for them. I didn't think they'd have a shot in that game. I think the Seahawks would lock it up, but they didn't. Great win for Bills Mafia. Next, we got the Green Bay Packers at number 5. I think Green Bay and the Saints are the 2 best teams in the NFC right now. I think that looks like what the NFC Championship might be. Obviously, we've seen some Packers games where it's like against the Buccaneers or against the Vikings where they've had some trouble on offense, but I think most teams are not going to be able to stop the Green Bay Packers. Next, we have the Baltimore Ravens at 4 after their big win against the Colts. I think that is a very big win because it shows that Lamar can get it done even when there's a stiff defense on the other side. And the Colts are one of the best defenses in the league, so it's a very good testing game for him. I like them at 4. New Orleans Saints have gone up all the way to 3. Wow. I don't know. I guess I think that's fair. When you beat a team like the Buccaneers that bad, you deserve it. Number 3 is fine. And let's see. They still have the Steelers at 2, which I think they're the best team in the league. Kansas City at 1. I think those should swap, but I think everything else is pretty good. Now, let's go see. These are some teams that I say are on the rise, that are trending upwards, that are going to make playoff pushes, or that are making their seeding better in the playoffs. So first, we got the Miami Dolphins. Great play from Tua this weekend. Loved watching it. Defense looked incredible. It looks better every week, in my opinion. This is a team to watch out for in the AFC playoffs. It could definitely surprise some teams. I could see them surprising a team like the Titans or even the Ravens. Maybe not the big boys, maybe not the Steelers or the Chiefs, but looking really good. Saints bumped up their position, especially in power rankings, but in their position in the NFC South hugely on Sunday night by beating their division rival. Huge. Bills moving up as well, and their win against the Seahawks. I think that's huge for them in the AFC. Don't think they'll be able to snag a 1 or 2, but this could help propel them to get that number 3 spot. Vikings. I have the Vikings on the rise. They've won 2 games in a row. They blew out the Lions, and then the week before that, they beat the Packers. Those are no small feats. Huge wins for the Vikings. All these teams came off big wins. That's why I have them on the rise this week. Next, I have 2 teams on the decline, one of them being the 49ers, mostly due to injury, and it's just, I feel bad because it's so hard for a team to be good. It's so hard as a fan to watch your team knowing that your great players are sidelined. So that's why I have the Niners on the decline, and I also have the Chicago Bears. Bear down, baby. This team needs some milk, okay? This team needs some help. They need some help on offense. They need to try to find somebody that is going to make plays for them because right now people aren't making plays. And maybe consider Trubisky. You've seen the skin. What's to lose of putting Trubisky in? He has a different skill set. It could be harder for teams to prepare for a guy like Trubisky who's going to run around than a guy like Foles. I mean, who's to say they couldn't do a 2-quarterback set? Because and look at the teams and be like, okay, this team next week does very badly against a team or against an offense like Pat Mahomes or like Kyler Murray, where the scrambling quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, stuff like that, and play a guy like Trubisky. Next week, a team that locks up that type of quarterback, but can't handle the deep ball, put in Foles. Try some different things. They have nothing to lose. They are in second place in the NFC North, but if they keep playing like this, the Vikings could catch them. Next, so let's go on to the next part. We don't have that much NFL news this week. Some of the stuff that I saw was about, they had some stuff about Calvin Johnson. He came out and did an interview and talked about how obviously he still has a bad relationship with the Detroit Lions. Really sad. I mean, I don't know why the Lions won't pay him. They made him give money back as signing bonus because he retired. But you know what? He's the second best Lion player to ever play in Detroit. Second best. I mean, he's compared to Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders, in my opinion, is the best running back of all time. And Calvin Johnson is a first ballot Hall of Famer, and he was so good for the Lions organization, and they can't even give him his money. It's really tough. But he was talking about how Aaron Rodgers tried to recruit him every year in and year out. When they played the Packers, Rodgers would always tell him, hey, why don't you come play over here? And Calvin would say, I wish I could. There's one thing for you right there. It's a little tough. So now we can go over last week's score. Oof, I had the worst week I've had yet doing this podcast. So I'll go over it. First one, Seahawks was wrong. Should have picked the Bills. Second one, Colts wrong. I think I was a little too high on the Colts offense, especially coming off a week after they throttled the Lions, but it's the Lions defense, so anybody's going to have a good day. Next, Lions wrong. I think that I thought they would play better than they did against the Colts. They played the exact same, played like trash, and then the Vikings are going to beat you if you do that. Next, I had Washington wrong. Now, Washington wrong was based off the fact that I thought they had a better defense, which I still believe they do. But the thing is Alex Smith cannot throw 3 picks for the Washington football team. That's what happened. Then, next one, I should have went with my heart with the Dolphins. I took the Cardinals because I thought Kyler Murray could get it done. He doesn't. Dolphins win that one. And the next one, which I think almost everyone picked wrong other than Saints fans, is the Buccaneers. And I know that the Saints fans are screaming because they're like, oh, we knew. And Saints fans are some of the most loyal fans that you can get. And, wow, I think Comerica was proved wrong on Sunday. So let's take a look at next week and we'll do some predictions for next week. Hopefully score better. I think it's going to be hard not to. 7 for 13 is poor. I want to get to about 11 for 13. That's the goal, is to get, if I can get to 11 for 13, I'll be really happy. So let's look. First game, we got Buccaneers-Panthers on Sunday. I will take the Buccaneers there. They're going to bounce back. They're not going to lose twice in a row. I don't think so. Buccaneers will take that one. Next, we got the Texans versus the Browns. Oof. I want to take the Texans here. I know. No, but the Texans only won by 2 to the Jags. The Browns have to win this game. I think the Browns will take this game. I'm going to take the Browns here. Next, we have the Washington football team versus the Detroit Lions. Unfortunately, I think this is the game the Lions win. Wow, looking here, it says Alex Smith has a 5-0 record versus Detroit. I mean, it seems like every quarterback does. And let's see. I'm going to take the Lions. I know I picked them wrong last week, but I think they're better than the Washington football team. We'll see. Next, after that, we have the Packers-Jags. I'll take the Packers. After that, we have Eagles-Giants. The Giants are kind of good, though. I'm going to take the Eagles. I think the Eagles see the position that they're in, and they're like, we got to get these wins. I think the Eagles will take that. Then we have Bengals-Steelers. I want to take the Bengals so bad, but I can't. It's Steelers all the way. I think it'll be an exciting game. There was some controversy around the Bengals players showing themselves stomping on the towel and making sure that the Steelers knew that this rivalry was still there. Very fun to watch. I think it'll be fun thing to watch, the rivalry. Bengals-Steelers is probably my favorite rivalry to watch in all of football. Bills-Cardinals. After that, I'm going to take the Bills, especially after their good win against the Seahawks. I like what Josh Allen's doing. Next, I got the Broncos-Raiders. I'll take the Raiders in that one. Raiders won't lose to a team like the Broncos, I don't believe. Then we got Seahawks-Rams. Probably the hardest one to pick this week. I'm going to take the Rams. I think the Rams can get it done. The Seahawks are struggling right now. We've seen that. I think that's what's going to happen. I think the Rams could win that one. Next one, we got 49ers, Saints. Taking Saints all the way. They proved me wrong last week. Now I got to pick them this week. Then we got Ravens, Patriots. I think this will be a good one, but obviously I think the Ravens will win this one. Then we got the Chargers, Dolphins. Dolphins all the way. I'm on the Dolphins hype train until they prove me wrong. Remember that. I'm picking Dolphins every week until they prove me wrong. Then we got Vikings, Bears. I'm going to take the Vikings here. I think the Vikings could do something here. And if they did that, the Vikings would be 4-5, and the Bears would be 5-5. And they would be very, very close to being able to surpass them. I like that. I want to see the Vikings win that. I think Dalvin Cook could be have a great game again. So let's go over the best matchups. In closing, we got the Bills-Cardinals. Will be a great game. We'll see Josh Allen versus Kyler Murray. Next one, we got Seahawks-Rams. Russell Wilson versus Jared Goff with a good Rams defense. I think that will be hard for the Seahawks to get past. And then we got Bengals-Steelers rivalry. I want to see Joe Burrow firing. I want to see his first taste of Bengals-Steelers. And so that will be all for the podcast. I had a great time doing this. I want to hear from y'all. I want to hear y'all's picks. I want to hear everything. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see y'all next week.